A minute of inspiration. Elliot woke up to the dim morning light seeping through his window. He stood there for a while, staring at the quiet street below. But this silence did not bring him peace. It only made the heaviness in his chest grow deeper. For nearly 2 years now, Elliot had felt like he was drifting further and further away from the person he once wanted to be. Failed projects at work, family who didn't understand, friends busy with their own lives, all of it left him feeling like an empty shell. Every night, he would close his eyes with the same bitter thought, "I'm exhausted." One rainy evening, instead of heading straight home after another rough day at the office, Elliot turned toward the old town park on the edge of the city. He hadn't been there in years. As a child, he and his father would come here to feed the ducks and watch the stars. Now, it looked almost forgotten. The benches cracked, the lampposts flickering. Elliot sank down onto a damp bench and buried his hands deep in his coat pockets. He let his mind drift. When did I become so tired of trying? I used to dream big. Where did all that courage go? Suddenly, a voice interrupted his thoughts. "Mind if I sit here?" Elliot looked up and saw an elderly man with a shock of snow-white hair and a kind, weathered face. The man's eyes were clear, as if he carried countless stories within them. "Please," Elliot said, shifting aside. They sat in silence. The old man held something in his hand. Small seeds, cupped gently in his wrinkled palm. Elliot's curiosity got the better of him. "What are those?" The old man smiled faintly, his eyes crinkling. "Seeds. I always carry a few when I come to this park. Sometimes, when I see someone lost in heavy thoughts, I give them one." Elliot let out a dry laugh. "A seed? How does that help?" The man picked out a tiny seed and placed it carefully in Elliot's hand. "See this? Looks like nothing, doesn't it? But all it needs is a moment. Just 1 minute of sunlight, 1 drop of water, and it starts to grow." People aren't so different, you know. We spend years stuck in the dark, but sometimes all it takes is a single minute of courage, of hope, and life changes forever. Elliot stared at the seed resting in his palm. It felt fragile, but strangely warm. "The what if I don't have the strength for that minute?" Keith whispered. The old man's eyes softened. "You're not weak, Elliot. You're just carrying too much that no longer serves you. Let go of the past, forgive yourself, trust that one small spark can light up your whole path. I know because I've lived it." He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out an old, faded photograph. It showed a young man, dirt-streaked, clothes torn, but his eyes were fierce with determination. "That's me." The old man chuckled. "I once stood where you are now, no money, no one to believe in me, not even myself. I nearly gave up on everything. But one night, I decided to stand up again. Just 1 minute, that's all it took. I chose not to surrender. And here I am, many decades later, still planting seeds." The rain had stopped. The park seemed to glow under the flickering lamps. Elliot looked at the photo, then at the seed in his hand. For the first time in months, something stirred inside him, a warmth he thought he'd lost. He turned to the old man. "What's your name?" The man smiled, his eyes twinkling like a star on a clear night. "Name's not important, son. What matters is that tonight, you found your own minute of inspiration. Hold on to it, nurture it, and you'll grow taller than you ever imagined." The old man rose slowly, tipped his hat, and walked away down the misty path, his footsteps fading into the hush of the trees. Elliot sat alone for a long while, the tiny seed still warm in his hand. As he stood up to head home, he looked up at the sky. The stars were scattered bright across the velvet dark, like seeds ready to blossom. He knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but now he believed even the heaviest night can be broken by a single minute of light. And he promised himself, "I'll never let that minute slip away again."